going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, Ravens flock, we got some things to talk about. We got some good news and some not so good news, as well as what we're trying to do to, deal with that specific situation. Let's start with the good news first. I want to give a huge happy birthday to my main man, Mark Andrews, one of the best young tight ends in the game. Arguably a top 3 tight end. I feel like he should definitely be in that consideration, especially because he's played like that over these last 2 years. So happy birthday to that man. The Ravens definitely gave this man a gift he is going to enjoy. What a way for him to celebrate his birthday than by the Ravens giving him this gift. The Ravens gave Mark Andrews a 4-year contract extension worth up to $56 million. I believe it's around $14 million a year he'll be getting, which will make him the 3rd highest paid tight end in the league, right behind Travis Kelce and George Kittle. So that's a nice company to be in for Mark Andrews. He gets his big payday, and he absolutely deserves it. Congratulations to the man. He's been one of the most effective tight ends in the league over the last couple years. He was a huge contributor to Lamar Jackson's MVP season, and last year he was also killing it as well. He was basically our number 1 guy, and he still has been our number 1 guy over the last 2 years. So he'll continue to be great. Him and Lamar Jackson have a beautiful connection, and hopefully we'll continue to see that connection for years to come. This guy has been balling out, man. He definitely deserves to be in the argument for top 3 tight end. You can just put him in the 3rd spot right behind Kelce and Kittle if you want to, because the guy, in terms of what he's done production-wise and in terms of how effective he's been on the field over these last 2 years, check his numbers, he's been a top 3 tight end, so he definitely deserves his money, and he definitely deserves more attention. People really like to underrate Mark Andrews. Yes, Ravens flock, I understand. We all know he has not exactly shown up in the playoffs, and that has been a problem. Part of that has to deal with injuries. We understand that, but at the same time, when he's on the field, he hasn't done much, which I can't put it all on him. Some cases you can. Other cases, you just got to realize that the defenses understand that this is Lamar Jackson's number 1 target. That's how it's been the last couple years. He's their number 1 target. We got to double team him and force Lamar to throw to anyone else. So it's been difficult for Mark Andrews. But with the receiving talent we have this year, Mark Andrews shouldn't be seeing that many double teams, so he should be eating this year. And I can't wait to see how he's going to perform. So yeah, congratulations to the man. He's been one of the most effective tight ends over the last couple years. He's been absolutely killing it. Him and Lamar have a beautiful, beautiful connection. Their chemistry is on fire. That is his go-to guy. That is his security blanket. That is his number 1 target. And I'm glad that this man is going to be in Baltimore, still balling out for years to come. Hopefully, we can continue to keep him throughout his career, because so far, he has been great. And he's only going to continue to get better, and him and Lamar Jackson are going to continue to keep up that same level of play. And it'll just be a beautiful thing to see. So I'm glad we will have Mark Andrews for the foreseeable future. And if you're keeping track, Ronnie Stanley got his extension. Marlon Humphrey got his extension. Now Mark Andrews got his extension. These are the 3 that have been on the list for guys that needed to get extension, and the Ravens had to get these guys locked up. The next person on that list should be Lamar Jackson. So whenever they're ready to do that contract extension with Lamar, we'll be ready to talk about it. But again, that's not something they need to rush. They've got plenty of time with that. Lamar is not really focused on that. He's focused on the season. I don't think it's that much of a big deal in terms of getting him a contract extension. We know he's going to get his money. We just don't know when, and we don't know how that deal is going to work out. So the Ravens are figuring that part out. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about Lamar Jackson's future in Baltimore. I believe he will get a contract extension, and he'll be our quarterback for the foreseeable future. So I'm not worried about that. They'll definitely get that done. But Mark Andrews was definitely one of the guys we had to keep and get tied down for the foreseeable future. So for them to get him done, and on his birthday too, that's a wonderful gift the Ravens have given this man. So once again, congratulations to Mark Andrews. Happy birthday. Hope you're enjoying your day, man. And I'm just glad you're going to be in Baltimore for the next couple years, and hopefully it'll go even beyond that. Now let's shift gears. So, as we all know, injuries have been a tough situation for the Ravens to deal with throughout the offseason and training camp and the preseason. And most of them have been injuries that have not been nearly as severe, but they have taken them out, so they've missed a lot of time, especially with our receivers. We're just getting them back with Sammy and Hollywood coming back. Meanwhile, Bateman and Boykin will put on IR. They will not be available till like week 3 or 4, so they're not going to start off the season. But you did get Hollywood back. You did get Sammy Watkins back, so we're just hopeful these guys will be able to do what they're doing and come back and ball out, and we'll see what happens Monday night against the Raiders. So yeah, injuries have been an issue, same for the offensive line, but they're finally back together and they're working together as a unit, so that's a good thing. But for the most part, those injuries haven't been major. However, toward the end of the preseason, we started suffering major injuries. It started with LJ Fort, then it hit J.K. Dobbins, and now the next person on that list is Justice Hill. Justice Hill, in last Thursday's practice, suffered a knee injury. They feared it could be something severe, and the reports have come out, and it is severe. Justice Hill has now torn his ACL. He is out for this season. There goes your third back. McCray did not make the roster, so that was, you don't have a third back now. Justice Hill was your third back. So now at this point, you only have Gus Edwards. You have Williams. You need somebody else to take that third back spot. With Justice Hill now gone, the Ravens have to look for somebody else to replace that third running back spot. And it sucks to see Justice Hill go because not only was he, he takes that third back spot, but he was also on special teams and he was ineffective. He was I'm not going to say a really effective, but he was somewhat of an effective player on special teams. So losing him in special teams is going to suck. But it is unfortunate. His season is done before it even gets started. So prayers out to Justice Hill. Hopefully he'll be able to recover from this process and come back stronger next season. It's unfortunate to lose a player like him, especially because he's an effective player in special teams, and special teams definitely does matter. So it sucks that you lose somebody that can be effective in special teams for the season. It's tough, but it is what it is. Once again, prayers out to Justice Hill. Hopefully he'll recover and come back stronger next year. So now, with Justice Hill now gone, and you only having 2 backs, the Ravens have to make a move. So they actually ended up hosting out some tryouts. They ended up hosting out some tryouts with 2 running backs because they have to get that third back. So they brought in Devontae Freeman, and they brought in Le'Veon Bell. And if I'm going to be very honest, most of us expect Le'Veon to be signed. Now that you only have 2 backs, the fact that you brought these 2 guys in speaks volumes. Devontae Freeman's going to get a shot, but it's probably going to be Le'Veon. I think most of us at this point are kind of more so moving towards Le'Veon ending up getting signed by the Ravens to take that third back spot. I don't know how effective he's going to be within our offense, but we know what he brings to the table. And if Le'Veon comes in, who knows? He might end up taking a second back spot because Le'Veon is such a useful weapon in the backfield that putting him on the Ravens where he gets to be behind this running game in general, it's definitely going to allow Le'Veon to eat. So this should be very interesting. I don't know if they're going to sign him, but the fact that they brought him in shows that they're definitely going to lean towards bringing him in for the most part. Devontae Freeman, I don't really think he's going to get signed. I don't think most of us think he's going to get signed. If he ends up getting signed, that's great. I think he can still be an effective player. He can definitely take that third back spot. But if you get Le'Veon, that might be a different situation. I like Williams, but for the most part, you get Le'Veon. They may end up actually bumping this dude up to be our second back behind Gus because you can really utilize Le'Veon in the pass game. Now, of course, over the last couple of years, Le'Veon Bell has not been Le'Veon Bell. In fact, he hasn't been Le'Veon Bell since he left Pittsburgh. We already know why. But he can still be an effective player. He can still be somebody that makes an impact. And if you put him in this run game, he's going to get opportunities. And if you give opportunities to Le'Veon Bell, he's going to eat. And since we're trying to use our backs in the pass game, here you bring a guy in Le'Veon Bell that used to kill. He used to absolutely torment defenses and how efficient he was and how effective he was in the backfield, as well as just being a great runner. Utilize this guy in the backfield as one of the receivers. Man, Pittsburgh used to torment us with that. And that's something Baltimore can use. So bringing in Le'Veon Bell to try him out is definitely a sign towards the Ravens bringing him in and just overall signing him to be that back. But if he comes in, he may end up being the second back behind Gus as opposed to him being the third back and Williams being the second back. So we'll see what happens with that. But it really looks like they're leaning towards signing Le'Veon Bell. And if that's the case, man, I wouldn't mind that. I really wouldn't mind that. We've already talked about this in terms of bringing in the back. We already felt that, somebody was definitely going to be brought in. We spoke about Todd Gurley and we spoke about Le'Veon, and I personally said Le'Veon's probably a better choice than Todd Gurley. So it looks like the Ravens are definitely heading towards that direction. I don't think they plan to sign Todd Gurley. I don't think that's within their future. But since they're bringing in Le'Veon Bell, it's probably going towards that direction. We'll see what happens, though, but they got to get this done soon because, again, the game is Monday night. If you're going to sign Le'Veon Bell and make him the second or the third back, you better get a move on. So we'll see what happens with the situation. Lastly, once again, prayers out to Justice Hill. Hopefully he recovers from this whole situation and he's back strong next year. But yeah, we will be moving forward and seeing if we can get potentially Le'Veon Bell to be signed to this team. And we'll see what happens then. We definitely got a game Monday night, and I can't wait to talk about that when I give my first preview for the Ravens' first game of the season. Should be fun. Can't wait to do that. But with that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace!